Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. I want to do eclipse reading because tomorrow we're going to have partial solar eclipse, new moon in Virgo. So I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow because we're going to do some chanting and we're going to break down the energies of eclipse seasons. I was thinking to do some chanting and some healing. So we're going to do that. But for today, what I want you to know that as for most eclipses, there is something that we must let go of, and there is something that we must embrace more and walk more towards, especially powerful in this eclipse season because we're really walking towards our northern nodes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask, what is it that you need to let go of? Things, people, shadows, patterns that you've been working on, and it's really time to go right now. And then we're gonna do what you need to embrace more. What is the message from your guides to really walk more towards? But as always, we're gonna start from how are you feeling. So take a deep breath, and we're gonna confirm. Sorry, the light is annoying me. All right, let's confirm. How is this collective feeling? How is this collective feeling? How is this collective feeling? Okay, we have growth, we have sweetness. Let's do two more for your first little flow. Wanted to pop up. We have a little bit of sadness. And we have ideation. Okay, so overall your energy is nice. You are an energy of growth. So you would be someone, you would be feeling right now like you want to grow, like you want to be better version of yourself. So maybe you're doing some inner work. Maybe you're doing some a review of your life. There is sweetness. I'm hearing with this sweetness that it's like you want to find sweetness in life and you want to find sweetness in yourself, I'm hearing as well. So maybe there have been some situations in the recent past that sort of pull out the bitterness within you, pull out some shadows within you. And you guys, we often don't like that, right? Confirmation, did you hear that? We often don't like that. We often don't like, and we say that it's a fault of other people, right? We say that certain people, certain situations pull out the worst of us, right? But again, if you know anything about shadow work, it's not those people. They're just tools in hands of the divine for us to really see our darkness, to get familiar with our darkness, to heal it, to embrace it, to give it love, right? So if you're, there's a reason it came to my mind, but if that's what you're thinking, that you were in situations and surrounded by people that pulled out a lot of your darkness and you have a lot of sweetness and that's what you want to focus on. Be mindful of that. We have sadness as well, so there is a little bit of sadness, there is a little bit of nostalgia. We are in the eclipse season, so it is, I always say this, the more healed you are, the less these astrological events influence on you because you are in your balance, you are in your strength. And I always say, and you know this, that we should not use them as excuses, but we should harvest their energy. So instead of saying, oh, I'm sad or I'm this and that, it's just the eclipse, it shall pass, this too shall pass. Take this season and embrace how you're feeling, to harvest the energy of the eclipse, to harvest the energy of the full moon, new moon, whatever is that, the retrogrades, right? To actually not wait it out, but embrace it and harvest the potent energy of change, right? And we have ideation. I want to do another row just real quick. I feel like you would be figuring out with that ideation yourself and the path forward. We have anger. So that's confirmation with that sweetness. So maybe there is some anger within you that you're not fully understanding. Side note, anger is a byproduct of unhealed heart. Anger lives in the heart. If our heart is unhealed, if our heart is unbalanced, is not in a frequency that it should be operating, which is love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, especially when we have pain, heartbreak, and grief, if we don't heal that, if we don't address that properly, it turns into anger. It doesn't necessarily have to be grief and heartbreak around a person or romantic relationship. Sometimes we're disappointed with life, with our parents, with situations, and if we don't heal that disappointment and the heartbreak, it turns into anger. So maybe you have some anger within you, but you would want to grow through that. You would want to address that. You would really want to pull out more of that sweetness within you. Sweetness. Reflection. What did I say? Confirmation. You will find yourself right now in a moment of having a lot of reflective things, and everything is a reflection of us, right? But specifically, every reflection of in relationships and situations that you feel like, again, confirmation, you have to shift that mindset. It is not external world that makes us feel, that pulls out things out of us. Yes, it's true that true soul connections, true soulmates, and we always say this, how do we know someone is a soulmate? Not just in a romantic relationship, but in friendship. They pull out the best of us, which means that they encourage us to be authentic, to be free. We feel okay being ourselves with them, but it's not, it's the vibration that matches. But they also can cause lessons within us. They also can reflect certain things within us, right? So you have to remember that it's always within you. No one makes you feel. No one has that power to make you feel. You feel because you have something within you, whether that's a wound or an emotion or hope or despair, whatever that is, it's in you. Sadness. Similarly, the good things. Our soulmates don't create our good things. They just encourage us. To put them on display, to be more that, to be more light, to be more authentic. We have passion. That's on top of that sadness. What I was hearing is that maybe you are contemplating that you are someone who is very passionate, someone who jumps into things maybe a little bit too fast, I'm hearing. And then it causes sadness within you. We have disruption. Pain at the bottom of the deck. So this collective overall, you are in realization that there are certain things that you need to change within life, within yourself, right? Certain things that you need to amend. There are many things that are reflective around you, but I feel like you're still fighting to really understand that it's always you, right? You do want to alchemize, however, that anger into sweetness, into peace, right? But there's still, I feel there's a little bit of overthinking. I feel there's a little bit of like unit overwhelm. Like, what do I do with all this information that is coming towards me? And this sadness, you would also be reflecting, like I said, you may be one of those people that in relationship, in friendships, in sometimes maybe even in life and work opportunities, you go from a 0 to 100. You get excited in no time without even accessing the situation. A side note, it usually comes from really wanting something very much. So we see a shred of opportunity, right? And we jump on board. Again, people say that it's because I'm so passionate, but it actually comes from a place of shadow. But you would start to notice, you would start to figure this out, that I do things too soon, I jump into things too soon, no one ever catches up with me, and all that it really causes within me is sadness. All right, if that resonated, let's start. I want to start from shadows. Let's start from what is it that our guides are asking us to let go of in these, let's maybe start from tarot. I just heard let's start from tarot. What we need to let go of in this eclipse season. Oh. King of Cups. That's emotional maturity. That's the energy of King of Cups is achieved when we are balanced within ourselves enough emotionally. We understand ourselves enough. We understand emotions enough. We understand what's the purpose of emotions, how they work, how they operate, that they're just a compass on our road towards discovering our shadows, that we're ready to externalize them in a healthy balance, in a mature way. So there's a reason we mentioned this 0 to 100, right? I feel like you're not just yet completely in control of your emotions, but this collective, you will be thinking about this. It's not, again, I say this to you guys as a mantra, right? What I say to you as a shadow worker, I am that sharp reflection. I am that sharp mirror. This is why I always say to you guys, shadow work cannot be done in the initial stages. True shadow work that will really get you to a place of a healed state without assistance of a healer, specifically shadow worker, because we pull out what you don't want to see, what you're refusing to see, denying to see, or what you're not fully understanding, right? Is that really sharp reflection with explanation and the assistance to connect the dots, right? So when we do that on sessions, whether it's a collective, obviously, one-on-one sessions are always more detailed, are always a little bit different because we're focusing on your individual energy. Whereas collective, I'm hearing and feeling many things from the collective. But what I say, it shouldn't be super news for you, if you know what I mean. It should be a moment of realization. The moment I said that, oh my God, it's true. And that's also how you know that this is your collective. There's a reason I'm saying this, because I feel you would be, there's this overwhelm that we said, remember? So you are starting to sort of connect the dots, but it's like it's so much information coming towards you right now that you don't know what to do with this. It's like you're coming into realization, why did I think all my life that I am just passionate? And I feel that this collective, you may have thought that this anger is a reflection, is an extension of your passion, right? Many people say that people who have temper, who are temperamental, who are choleric, right? They oftentimes say, it's just because I'm passionate. No. And also people who are unhealed, they confuse passion with anger, right? Because they don't understand emotion. So we can be very forthcoming, we can be very ignited, we can be very passionate and fiery, but when it comes from a healed heart, it's just our passion towards what we have in front of us, right? But it comes with a healed and balanced heart. Whereas if you really feel that anger that overwhelms you, that really causes the stress and anxiety that lingers for days, if not weeks, it comes from an unhealed heart. And I always teach you guys this when we talk about emotions and about shadows. Shadows are tricksters. They disguise themselves as light. This is why when we go embark on a journey of healing, one of the things that we do is to learn to differentiate. What is that shadow and what is that light? Because oftentimes we're being shamed for our lights, right? And the shadows are disguised for light. So it can be very confusing. There's a reason I'm deviating towards this. But you may be thinking about these things, that you may not be as emotionally mature and balanced as you thought that you were. And here it is, shadow. The reflection, see the reflection of her. So how she sees herself is not really the complete truth. This is why most people on this world, and it's absolutely okay, many things happen in their subconscious mind and they don't have the very deep and sharp self-awareness. And even those that do sometimes require support of, like I said, either a healer or these reflective relationships, right? Some people are so in denial that even reflective relationships, they don't do much of a help for them, right? Very slow steps. But I'm hearing also something about that reflection. I'm hearing that you may be realizing that there's as many versions of us as many people know us, right? So this is also why on a journey of healing, it's so important to find your way back home to self. Because if you truly understand who I am, what is my mission, I know all my shadows, I know all my light. Now I consciously will pull out the light. I will allow the soul to hold the reins. and the shadows will be healed, integrated, loved, will be at bay, right? Because they are our protective armor. They only come forth in the stress. So when we're centered, they're really retired. They're really completely retired. And if they're trying to come forward, we realize, and we're like, shh, go back to your retirement, right? So I feel like you're realizing that maybe you even have those thoughts. Who am I really? This is how I was seeing myself, and now I'm realizing that it's not completely accurate. There's also so many people that that see me differently, and that beautiful thought is a proof that we are reflections of others. All that really matters is how you see yourself, because only you have direct access to your soul. Only you know your essence. Only you know your truth. And the journey of healing helps you release what other people think, because it really doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. And I give you guys this example a lot. If you think of whoever, like think of me, there's going to be people, think of yourself, there's every person, right? There's going to be people who will love us, there's going to be people who will hate us, there's going to be people who won't really care, there's going to be people who think that we're so empathetic and so soft and so kind, there's going to be people that will think that we're horrible and we're cruel, right? Why is that? We cannot be both, right? Because it is a reflection. It's a projection of who they are. Very few people that we really have to be in a very healed and centered state have the capacity, 5% of human population would have the capacity to look at others and see them without the lens of their own projections, their own shadows, and their own woundings. And that goes especially when we're judging people who are healed, because people who are wounded, it's true, we may have different version of ourselves for different people. Why? Because we think that they pull out different things out of us, but it's still us. Do you know what I mean? So you would maybe think that there's a version of me for like people I love, but there's a version of me for like my exes or whatever. It's you. It's you. It's not them pulling out certain things. It's not you. It's just that they are reflecting something that as you spend time with them, as you are with them, as you think of them, they pull out either light or shadows, but they're not different versions of you. It's all you. And part of healing is to fully sort of collect it as a whole and integrate it as a whole and understand that. And when we're healed, we really have the same version. We might have levels, right? Of things of us, our essence that we disclose, right? So people who don't know us, we don't really have no need to really show who we are. And then the closer we are, the vulnerability sort of is bigger and it's enhanced, right? We open our hearts more, but the version is still same because we already know who we are. Do you understand? It would make sense for, if it's really your collective, it would make sense. Ace of Swords. You are going through some sort of a mindset shift. I feel now it's happening on a level of the mind for you. It's happening on a level of the mind. Not yet heart. Two of Swords. A lot of overthinking, definitely. A lot of overthinking. Water sign, air sign energy. I'm not seeing this as a sort of a decision and a crossroad. It's sort of an internal crossroad. That's what I'm hearing. Internal crossroad. So you're having some realizations. It's what we said, right? It's what we said. And I feel what this eclipse is really pushing you to do is to look deeper within yourself and begin a path of understanding and deciding who I am. And the first step to do that is to realize that how people see me doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. King of Cups. Eight of Wands. What is it that we said? Eight of Wands. You know, if you know tarot, you know what Eight of Wands is. It's the urgency. It's the now. I want it all and I want it now. Why is it not happening? Let's push it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it work. you're not even allowing yourself, I'm hearing this collective, in situations to give your emotions time to really feel them and to really understand. And I'm hearing specifically in romantic relationships, romantic connections, because when we don't know who we are, in a sense, like everyone thinks that they know who they are, but again, it's going to be 5% of people who went on a journey of healing who truly really understand to the very core where I come from, where I'm going, who I am today in this avatar, and who I am in a place of my soul. Confirmation. And there's a reason I said to you what I said before. Oftentimes we shame ourselves for our shadow, for our light, because of the conditioning. So a vulnerability, openness, sensitivity, a lot of beautiful, healthy, feminine qualities within us, right? Well, feminine, masculine, are being called by the society as weakness, as gooiness, right? And in the same time, horrible shadows, like stubbornness, like urgency, like aggression, they being glorified. So distorted masculine qualities, they're being glorified as like, you know what you want, you're very passionate, right? And if you meet a new person, so if you don't really know and understand your light and your shadow, you confuse passion with lust, you confuse dedication with lack and longing, right? The moment you meet someone and you think you start to develop feelings, if you go from a 0 to 100, you push yourself and this person into a situation, into a connection, into a relationship where you start feeling so many things and so many feelings. It's another second time I have 7 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. You need to learn to calm down. You need to learn to take it slow. You need to release, again, urgency. I feel this collective, your heart really needs healing. Your heart needs balancing, because just like anger, urgency lives in an unhealed heart. A healed, balanced heart is patient, right? What is mine in divine timing will come to me. I cannot force things. And having certain external things in life, it's also not the meaning of life. When we open our heart, it's a bridge. We connect ourselves to the spirit, to upper chakras, and we start to understand life is not about wanting and gaining certain things. So it's this urgency that you need to release. You need to really, I have few collectives that have this urgency, especially when it comes to love and connection. And I always advise to you guys to go to my YouTube. There's a healing and spirituality playlist, and there's a healthy dating video. Please go ahead and watch that if that resonates, because it will explain to you how healthy dating, how connecting to another person as per healthy balance and also divine law should look like. The moon. The Emperor. And we have the Empress at the bottom of the deck. I feel this collective, you have a bit of a disimbalance when it comes to your masculine and feminine energy, and you probably wouldn't realize that, or maybe the moment I say it, it will start sort of make sense, but you are in your masculine energy. You guys know that part of my mission is to work with feminine and sort of feminines, right? To heal the feminine within us, to embrace the feminine within us, because it's so important, especially for us women, who ultimately, when we are in a union, most of us will drop into our feminine. And unfortunately, most women, and this is also what is spinning the distortion within men, because most women are in their masculine energy without them knowing. They don't operate from stillness, from patience, from receiving, from connection to spirit, from connection to the void, to intuition, from really embracing the cycles of your body, the cycles of nature, right? Most women operate, because this world pushes us to do that, in a masculine energy. So I want something, so I want to fight for it, I'm going to gain it, I'm going to push it, I'm going to move forward, right? I want to prove something, I want to be validated, I want to achieve something, I want to see it. And these are all masculine qualities. And granted, again, we all have masculine and feminine within. And the reason for that is for us to be able to achieve wholeness without the assistance of others. And sometimes even us healed divine feminists, we need to get shit going, right? So we need to activate that inner masculine to feel safe, to achieve forward movement. But when we start to operate not only in relationships, but also in families, in communities, it's important to have both of these energies. It's important to have half of individuals, right? For 98% cases, it will be gender specific, but not 100%. Feminists that will drop into their feminine, and masculines that will raise into their feminine. And the more they raise, the more we'll be able to drop, and it's a cycle. But right now it's a vicious cycle. So maybe you are in realizations that you really are in your masculine energy, that you really have this urgency, that you don't know how to just sit and receive and focus on. You can also, if you really find that this topic is interesting to you and you want to know more, it's not something that, we can solve in one collective session, truly. But to know a little bit more, you can go to my website. There's a section, Divine Love, and you're going to be able to read a little bit more about that. Also part of my mission. That's why I have sort of an in-depth explanation. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is that passion, is that ignition, is that wanting. I feel like you are very driven by your passion. We have a lot of fire sign, to be honest, as well. Maybe you're in Aries, that just came to my mind. If you are, just a side note, Aries is I mean, all signs, right? They have side of light and side of shadows, but this is such a strong duality, I find, because Aries, when they are in their shadow, they can be so aggressive, so frustrated, so just chasing shadows of nothingness, really. But when they are in light, they can be true, that divine masculine, obviously you're feminine, right? But that beautiful qualities of healed divine masculine, of just drive, ambition, right? Very strong leaders, if they're healed. But I feel like it's something that it keeps coming back to my mind. There's a misconception in you when it comes to passion, aggression. You still don't understand. You still don't understand fully. Maybe you have a bit of a temper. The Fool. The Fool. I feel, this collective, we're asking, right, what is it that you need to let go of? So definitely urgency, pushing things that before you even know whether you want them or not. So again, it's going to be coming from a place of longing. We're going to pull a couple of cards for you from my shadow work deck. But I feel that you need to release the old mindset and embark on a journey of self-discovery. Really, you are being invited to embark on a journey. Who I really am, I need to understand myself. You really need to start to find that difference between shadows and between light, because like I said, it is a little bit confusing. Let's pull you a few of these. Maybe 3 or maybe one more. All right, ground at the bottom of the deck. So we have energy healing. So maybe you are being called to do a little bit of energy work, to work with your energy. I always say this to you guys. If you decide to embark on a journey with a healer, with a true journey of healing, I myself am an energy healer. I myself do, shamanic healing, Reiki healing. But I always say this to you guys, that type of healing, attunements, it's just accessory. Without true shadow work, without true